It doesn't say much about who you are as a person, right? So someone who may have been very promiscuous, not anymore, changed their life. Maybe there's someone who has never had sex, they're a virgin, they've only had sex with one or two partners, and they're not good human beings. They're not loving, they're not supportive, they're not affectionate, right? And so how many partners you've had is not indicative of who you are as a human being. Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode of The Single Season, hosted by me, Alison Wellington, better known as Align with Alison. This week's episode features Tia, who is struggling with some of the questions that she's getting from the gentlemen who are taking her out on dates, specifically around body count. But before we get into the episode, I'd like to thank this season's sponsor, Knox Brand Media, the go-to brand coach for 6- and 7-figure millennial entrepreneurs. Please be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give me a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening in on if you think that this content is 5-star worthy. As usual, I have some free resources to offer you, so make sure that you listen through the end of the episode to take advantage. Let's get to it. Hi, Tia. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm fine. And you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for joining us. So, Tia, you're on the dating scene, and there are some questions that you are being asked that are bothersome to you. So the mic is yours. Tell us, what are you facing as a woman who is dating?
So I just recently started dating maybe about 2 years ago and haven't had any luck yet.
Mhm.
So one of the questions that I've been getting a lot is what is my body count and how many men have I slept with is a little bothering to me. So I was just wondering if you could help me with that question.
Yes, absolutely. So, what is it that bothers you about that question in the first place?
Um, I guess because I would never ask a man that. And I haven't slept around a lot, so it's kind of like because I was married for 25 years, so I'm just recently dating, so it's just like I don't know why they're asking.
Have you ever asked, why do you ask, or why is that important to you?
I have not.
hmm So, this is what I would recommend for you, Tia. Number one, I 100% agree with you that that question is annoying. And I
Mhm.
believe that it doesn't really say anything. Number one, I don't know what a lot or a little bit is to a man because I'm sure that every man would have a different opinion. If you were to ask a man who's extremely religious, you being a formerly married woman, maybe one would be an appropriate response, which would be only your husband. Some might think that 5 are appropriate. Some might think that based on your age, 10, 15, 20 is a lot, 20 is too. There is no answer that is going to satisfy everybody. So I understand frustration number one. Frustration number two. Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. Of course, you're familiar with me. My name is Allison, certified dating and relationship coach. And I'm sure you've seen all of my testimonials, the engagements and the weddings and the babies. And I help my clients to bring those relationship goals to fruition through my 6-month coaching program, The Partner You Deserve. In that program, I teach my clients how to navigate dating both online and offline and how to work on becoming the best versions of themselves for themselves, but also so that they can energetically attract the partner that they claim that they deserve. I want you to think about the struggles you've had of dating in the past. I want you to think about when you were 30, 35, 40, 45, and the fact that you aren't where you want to be. At some point, something has to change. So what you're going to do is you're going to click the link below and you are going to book a consultation call so the both of us can discuss how I can help you to get the rings and tings. It doesn't say much about who you are as a person, right? So someone who may have been very promiscuous, not anymore, changed their life. Maybe there's someone who has never had sex, they're a virgin, they've only had sex with one or two partners, and they're not good human beings. They're not loving, they're not supportive, they're not affectionate, right? And so how many partners you've had is not indicative of who you are as a human being. That's number two, why I find it annoying. So I understand what you're saying. Number three, We should be more concerned about the health of the person as they are right now versus how many people they may have slept with in the past. Unfortunately, there are people who have had sex with one partner and then have become positive with some kind of illness that's not curable, right? So instead of being concerned about how many people one has slept with in the past, instead we need to be concerned with what is the paperwork saying right now about their health, right? So trust me, believe you me, it is quite annoying. But in all fairness, I think it would be appropriate for you to ask the person why. Why is that important to you? Because maybe there's something that we don't see. Us ladies, we get a lot of pressure around how many people we slept with, and then that being a judgment of who we are or our character or our behavior. So what women will tell you is that just lie, right? And then the answer that the guys will say is whatever number that the woman gives you times it by 3. Like it's all of these equations that with no scientific or mathematical value, right? And so instead, I would ask, why is that important to you? And maybe because we get so uptight and offended because we're judged on a daily basis on what kind of person we are based on that answer. Maybe we're so uptight as women that there may be a legitimate response. I don't know what it is. I can't imagine it. But maybe there is a legitimate response. So let's give a gentleman, whoever's asking, a chance to explain, to give us some insight. And if perhaps he can give us an answer that is reasonable, which again, I cannot imagine, but we're going to give them a little grace, then you can consider what your response is. Now, for me, even if a guy gave me an answer to the question of, well, why is that important to you? And I'd be mindful of my tone. I'm not going to say, well, why is that important? Why you care? Why does that matter? It shouldn't matter. I would say, well, something along the lines of, Tom, thank you for asking that question, but I would like to know, why is that important to you? Right? Even with a little smile, soften the blow, because they many times will get defensive because they know that we as women tend to not like that question, right? I'd like to get some feedback. I'd like to know. Again, Alison, cannot imagine what a good answer would be. Whatever his answer is, now you, Tia, have to decide what your answer is going to be. And the beautiful thing about it that the guys do not like is that they will never be able to confirm your answer. Hello, beautiful people. You know I always say that faith without works is dead. So let's put in some work so that you can be found by the partner that you deserve. If you're not ready for full-on coaching yet, then it's time for you to join the Future Wives Club. It is a private community where I teach how to navigate dating successfully in 2023 and beyond. What does it offer? We have 120 plus hours of past Q&As, all of my past trainings and ebooks. We have a monthly insight session, pop-up mini trainings. I check in with you twice a week to make sure that you're staying accountable and you're going outside so that you can position yourself to be found by the partner that you deserve. We have Wifey Wednesdays where I send you morning affirmations. There's discounts off of coaching and masterclasses. And lastly, and most importantly, we are building a community of sisterhood of like-minded women who have the same goals and aspirations as you do. So what I need you to do is click below, join us in the Future Wives Club. It costs less than your daily cup of coffee. Take action. That's the only way that you're going to see the difference that you desire. I've had this argument multiple times. I've been cursed out multiple times on social media about this body count business. And at the end of the day, they would never know the truth. They're like, I'm going to find out and I have my ways. No, you don't. Unless every single person I ever slept with decides that they're going to find you on social media and send you a private message, you're never going to know. Sorry, sir. So you, Tia, have to decide what is your answer. Don't tell me. Whatever your truthful answer is, you'll decide. And you'll say, well, you know, I really don't feel comfortable sharing because I don't think that number is indicative of who I am as a person. Response number 1. Response number 2, tell the truth. Response number 3, lie. Those are your choices. I would go with number 1. Well, you know, honestly, Tom, after he's given me my response, I allow him to give me some feedback and let him tell me why that's important. If I feel like it, I might counter it. If he says, well, you know, I think it's important that women are modest and I'm just giving an answer, right? They're modest, and so they're not sexually active. They don't have a lot of partners. That's important to me. I might ask, well, what are your thoughts about men? Do you also feel the same way? Let's keep this conversation going, right? We're on this date together. Let's keep it going. Well, what are your thoughts? Oh, men are different. Oh, tell me how. Well, and then they'll go into a whole very sexist spiel about why they're different and why they're allowed to do and why women aren't allowed to do. I might even continue to say, well, tell me more. What else do you think that men should have the space, the flexibility to do and women can't? And that might dismiss him as a potential partner in itself. He might say it's a woman's job to cook and clean, and then it's a man's, right? And that might not be in alignment with your values and your morals. So forget about the body count. This gentleman is
Right.
not an appropriate match for you because the two of you don't share the same morals and values and ideas about roles and responsibilities in a relationship. You take that question and ask more questions. Open up. Let's see what he has to say. And many times they will expose themselves to not be the kind of partner you're looking for anyway. Right? I know I kind of just went
Thank
off.
you.
Right? So don't take
Hmm.
offense to it. It's nothing about you. It's not personal. It seems to me, and I'd love for the gentleman to respond in the comments and let me know if I got this wrong. It seems to me that they have decided that the amount of sexual partners a woman has is indicative of her personality, her behavior, and how she's going to show up for that man in that moment, right? Where I know some women who are witches who may have 1, 2, 3 partners in their entire history. So good luck using that as a judgment. That's on them. For you, I would ask more questions. I would open it up. I would see if that allows you to measure their behavior and their personality, if it's a good match for you. And then you can say, I don't think that's an appropriate question to ask, especially if someone who I'm just getting to know. So if it's okay with you, I'd rather not share, or some version of that, basically not answering the question respectfully. Number 2, you tell the truth. Number 3, you lie.
Thank you, girl.
You're quite welcome. Any other questions before we wrap up?
I do have another question.
Mm-hmm.
Why are so many men, they say they're ready, well, they're on dating apps, but then they're not ready for a committed relationship? That's another thing that bothers me. And they
They are
want everything that comes along with it.
They are dating apps. They're not relationship apps, right? They're not
Yeah.
marriage apps. So dating just means that you are spending quality time with someone that you see potential for a romantic relationship with. You're spending quality time with someone that you're attracted to. You're spending quality time with someone that you're interested in a romantic way. In a romantic way does not mean committed relationship. It doesn't mean marriage if that's what you desire, right? And so what the key is are a couple of things. Number 1, you want to read their profile thoroughly. Now, many of them don't write a thing, which is quite annoying, but some folks do. And you want to believe what they write. So if they say they're unsure, that means no. If they say they're thinking about, that means no. If they say no, they don't want a relationship, that means no. We can never change anyone's mind. You want this gentleman to emphatically say yes. Tia, I want to be in a committed relationship. Now, it may not be with you, and the same way, you may feel the same way about him. It may not be with him. This is just what we desire. So we're assessing if we're a good fit for each other, right? So reading that profile to see exactly what it says. If there's any language that is not an emphatic yes, I want a committed relationship, or yes, I'm interested in being married or remarried, then it's a dub. We're not moving forward, right? Now, if they might say that on their profile, and then it's a different story once you start getting to know them. Let me tell you about a little secret that the guys are sharing online that I'm picking up. What they're saying is that they are potentially interested in a relationship, but as they're getting to know the woman that they're seeing, they recognize that they don't want a relationship with that woman. And in order to avoid hurting her feelings, they don't want to say, hey, Tia, by the way, I do want a relationship, but I just don't want it with you. It was nice to know you. Goodbye. It's easier. It's a cop out for them to say, well, Tia, it's nothing against you personally. I just don't want a relationship right now. So that's what the gentlemen are saying, that in essence, they're lying to spare our feelings, that they've decided that the two of us, the two of you are an inappropriate match. And so instead of just saying, I don't like you, Tia, or there's something that you did, Tia, that turned me off, they're going to say, well, you know what? Actually, I'm not looking for a committed relationship. However, what's disingenuous and what's not fair and what's not right is when they string people along. when they know that the woman that they're seeing wants a committed relationship. They have decided that that person's an inappropriate match, and they date them anyway. They pursue them sexually anyway, knowing that they don't want what the other person wants. So that part is unreasonable, unfair, and should stop. But that's what I'm hearing, is that they do want it. When they said yes, they want to commit a relationship. They just decided that they don't want it with you or I or that person that they're seeing, and they don't want to hurt their feelings. So then they just backtrack and say, oh no, sorry, I'm not ready for a committed relationship. They just left with you silent, on mute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Okay. So it's been a pleasure, Tia. Thank you so much for being our guest.
Mm.
Anything else before we wrap up? I'm here.
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
I thank you so much. Have a good one.
Mm. Bye-bye.
So a lot of us can take something away from that conversation. And I anticipate that I'm going to get cussed out in the comments in regards to this too. This whole body count, it's got to die. Like, there's some conversations on social media. There's some conversations that we're having in our society that just needs to die. And please understand that we should be asking for paperwork to make sure that folks are healthy and safe, and we're prepared to take next steps with them before wondering about how many bodies they had. And guess what, gentlemen? You don't like this, but you're never going to know the truth. So stop sweating the small stuff. Date the person, see if they're in alignment with you, see if they have the same morals and values, see if they want to show up in a relationship in the way that you desire. That's what matters. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to date somebody who's been all around the block and slept with your friend and your brother and your cousin. No, but we need to be practical and realistic and understand that body count is not indicative of character. All right, folks, it's been a pleasure, and I hope that you return. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share it with a friend, 5-star rating, all the good stuff so we can continue to create quality content like this. Have a good one.